guys, Bullhorn Betty here, discussing the Idaho 4. Many of you guys that have been following this case know exactly what this case is regarding. For those that are new and new to following me and the Bullhorn Betty channel, this is a case related to a quadruple homicide. 4 people were killed in off-campus housing in Moscow, Idaho. It was 4 people. It was Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez were all brutally killed with a fixed blade knife on November 13th between around 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So far, there has been no named suspects. There's been a lot of information that has come out about this property. One of the things that we've been hearing from law enforcement is that this was a targeted and a personal attack. There were some confusing statements made by the state attorney's office where he stated that most likely 1 or more individuals inside that home were targeted. On November 30th, they did a clarification. Conflicting information has been released over the past 24 hours. The Latah County Prosecutor's Office stated the suspect specifically looked at the residence, or that 1 or more of the occupants undoubtedly were targeted. We've spoken to the Latah County Prosecutor's Office and identified that this was a miscommunication. Detectives do not currently know if the residents or any of the occupants were specifically targeted, but continue to investigate. Law enforcement came back out and said, no, we can't determine whether the house is the target or 1 or more of the people inside the house were the target. This caused a lot of confusion with people saying, what do they mean? Was it targeted or not targeted? And we've learned as of September 1st that this was kind of dubbed the party house. We saw September 1st an eye-opening body cam footage from law enforcement that went to this house for a noise complaint. That particular body camera footage showed multiple people in a home that they did not live in. And the owners of that home, the tenants, i.e. Madison, Kaylee, Ethan, and Xana, and of course Dylan and Bethany, were not home at that time on September 1st when that body cam footage was aired. Moving forward, we heard a lot of information about the front door being opened. I personally have discussed with each and every one of you about why the surviving roommates may not have heard what was going on upstairs. So I have been, coming to bat for Dylan as well as Bethany in trying to understand why they were unable to hear the brutal murder of 4 of their roommates upstairs on the 2nd and 3rd floors. And then I come across an article and a news broadcast from Good Morning America. And listen to what an ex-roommate of this house stated.
And as the mystery grows over how the killer was able to get away unnoticed, a former student who graduated in 2022 and lived at the same house during his junior year talks about his experience there.
It's definitely an old, creaky house. You can't walk up any of the stairs or on any of the floors without everybody in the house knowing it.
Cole Alternator says the building doesn't offer much privacy and was well known to students.
A lot of students are very familiar with the inside of the home around the community. There have been thousands of people that have likely been through it throughout the years. Even when we had it, there were people that would come and knock on the door or walk in thinking that it was somebody else's house.
Now, as the school closes for winter break, the house and campus quiet.
What do you think about this? He just basically stated that there is no way that you can walk inside this house without it creaking. That this house was very creaky. That you couldn't step on steps or stairs without making a lot of noise that would wake up the entire house. Much different from the information that we corroborated from different roommates that said, or different tenants that stayed there in the past, stating those two bottom rooms, you could barely hear anything with. Well, clearly you can at least hear people going up and down the stairs. So it makes me wonder, did Bethany or Dylan hear the four coming back in between 1:45 and 2 a.m. in the morning on November 13th? Did they hear the assailant potentially going up those stairs or going down those stairs? Because again, we heard a neighbor state that they saw the front door open, wide open, at 8:30 in the morning. Between 8:30 and 9, to be specific, right? So what are your thoughts about this? I mean, you're hearing this past roommate, he was in this particular house, this very specific house, his junior year, and he has subsequently had moved out, and he's saying that this house is creaky.
You can't walk up any of the stairs or on any of the floors without everybody in the house knowing it.
It makes me wonder now. You know, a lot of people have been out there saying, how can Dylan and Bethany not know anything? From that same body cam footage, we see inside that room downstairs, which I believe is Bethany's, or Dylan's room rather, that was completely empty with just a bag of golf clubs. Again, bringing me back to, one, where were the surviving roommates in the home the night of this crime? Why they didn't hear anything, especially the brutal murder of 4 of their roommates. And lastly, did they hear anybody going up or down the front or back steps or in this house? Because it sounds like even walking up on the second floor is creaky. So please let me know what you think of this new revelation. Do you believe the surviving roommates, Dylan and Bethany? Do you believe they had nothing to do with this? Do you believe they heard nothing? We heard that they came home around 1 a.m., both of them in different areas of Moscow, and returning home between 45 minutes and an hour before the other 4 came home. Do you think they went straight to bed? Do you think they locked their door? Do you think that they weren't targeted specifically and left to live? Or do you think the assailant didn't even know they were there? Again, let me know. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. And finally, the last statement from the chief of Moscow Police Department.
But police say their search for the killer will not slow down.
We're going to continue to push through the holidays. We have a team that will continue to do the investigation and work on that as we move through the holidays.
All right, guys. God bless each and every one of you. Tomorrow is Christmas Eve, so have yourself a Merry Christmas. God bless each and every one of you.